You have put yourself in a box. 2026 is the year you break that box and any other barrier you placed on yourself or anyone has placed on you, because God did not place a limit on you. He's given you the world. The world is in front of you for you to level up and take advantage of, to get out there, to be bold, to explore, to be bright, to be confident, to be ambitious, to be hungry. But another thing I need you to work on is your mindset. And it takes people until you're about to lose yourself or lose something before you want to change. What does your higher self embody? And I want you to see the disconnect. This is why it's so important to get clear about the identity of your higher self. Hello, my beautiful people. We are starting a 30-day blueprint series to reinventing yourself and leveling up. Within the next 30 days, I need you to be transformed, especially in your mindset. Also, the goal within the next 30 days is for you to gain more clarity for your direction, especially in 2026, while building on your confidence. Next 30 days, I'm going to be giving you day by day, step by step blueprint to follow. Before we get into the step by steps, day by day, I want to really point out how important it is to shift your identity. You need to shift your identity and make sure that what you are currently embodying aligns with your higher self. I want you to think about this because a lot of people went into 2026 already with high hopes, big goals, and being optimistic. However, if you reflect over the last 9 days of 2026, would you be proud of your current habits and your mindset? We need to make sure that moving forward, you start to embody your higher self by shifting your identities to align with your habits, your goals, your mindset, your environment, who you're surrounded by, and who you allow to take up space in your life. Now, let's get into today's video. We are talking about shifting your identity. Consider this video all about deep reflection because you really have to become aware of your limiting beliefs, your habits, patterns before you can actually break them and move forward, even with the micro baby steps that I'm going to be talking about throughout these videos. Yes, you need to become aware of the patterns and your mindset that always wants to keep you in a cage, and that's why you're not moving forward. Now, I need you to become clear. Write this down. I need you to become clear about your higher self. Now, I need you to define who your higher self is. How does your higher self operate? Now, envision the highest version of yourself. They're happy, they're healthy, they're living their dream life, they're in their dream body. Take a moment, even if you have to pause this video, and I want you to ponder and just reflect. What does my higher self look like? Like if I had to paint out my dream life, I know many of you guys made vision boards, so maybe you have to look at that vision board real deeply right now. I need you to sit and really think with yourself. Who is my higher self? How do they operate? Okay, how do they move in their life? How do they dress? How do they talk? How do they communicate? What hobbies does your higher self like to do? How does your higher self start their morning? How does your higher self end the night? How does your higher self operate around your family? Maybe you have children, you have a husband, or maybe you're planning to have maybe you're planning to start a family. What kind of habits do you need in place now before starting a family? Not when the kids come. You need a little bit of a routine. You need to be disciplined with your food. What does your higher self embody? And I want you to see the disconnect. This is why it's so important to get clear about the identity of your higher self, because a lot of you guys are not even sure about the identity, those habits, the mindset, that where you're trying to go, you are far from, because you haven't seen the gap. And the gap is the disconnect of you doing the same toxic habits or having the same toxic mindset that is limiting you from your higher self. I want you to tell me, and you can comment them down below, right? What are the top 5 habits that your higher self has? When a lot of people, as a fitness coach, I get clients all the time and they're like, I want my dream body yesterday. Okay, babe. But when you get the dream body, what habits do you need to build in order to sustain and improve and evolve your dream body? Babe, I started in the fitness industry 11 years ago. And it took me a while to build discipline around nutrition, around showing up when I didn't feel like it. However, when I had that switch in my mind that I wanted to be a pro athlete, I wanted to get on the bigger stages, I wanted to be recognized, I wanted to have more opportunities, I had to shift my identity and become the person that has those things, that earns those things, that deserves those things. So you know what I had to do? I had to start showing up like the pro athlete. Before I even turned pro, I had people coming up to me asking me if I was already a pro athlete. I had to just start showing up. I had to start showing up like the leaders that I was inspired by. When I look at Miss Bikini Olympia, let's talk about Jennifer Dory. If you're not in bodybuilding, you're not going to understand what I'm talking about, but you can Google her, Jennifer Dory. And she's Canadian and she has gone so far. I've watched her since she started in bodybuilding to becoming Miss Olympia twice. And her discipline is insane. And I had to study her. How does she move? She operates a certain way because she knew that she wanted to be Miss Olympia. Now, a lot of you guys have goals of being a CEO or an entrepreneur and a mother and a wife. You have many big goals. However, you need to shorten those goals, categorizing them into your identities of your habits, your mindsets, your environment, what you wear, how you speak, how you communicate. These little things make a huge difference to building you into who you want to become and what it is that you want to have. I need you to ask yourself and really reflect on these questions. What kind of people does your higher self hang around or associate with? And then I want you to reflecting back on your interactions and who you made time for, and was it worth it, and were they going anywhere, and do they have big goals, and do they stand on business, and do they hold integrity? What are their values? Do their values and their morals align with my higher self? Are they going places, or is it all just talk? How about what kind of music does your higher self listen to? Babe, I had to cut out that crap music in 2024. I know a lot of you guys have been watching me since I started my channel, and I knew if I wanted to be a woman that is teaching other women and sometimes men how to elevate and level up their mindset, their habits, their body. I'm not just a personal trainer and a nutritionist that knows that each client, each person, each individual needs an entire life transformation in order for your physical transformation to stick. A lot of people can take these weight loss supplements and weight loss this or go to your doctor for this and that, and then they become reliant on that source to look a certain way. However, what many people don't realize is a lot of your quick fixes, they're unhealthy and they're unsustainable. Even bodybuilding is unsustainable and it's not healthy in the long term. So it's important for whoever it is that you want to become that you shift your identity and make sure that your habits align. How does your higher self spend your own money and invest in yourself? And then I want you to ponder on 2025. How did you spend your money? Would you say that you were proud of your spending? Would you say that you saved a bit more in 2025 and you have bigger goals to save and invest and use your money wisely or make more money? Now, when you think of your dream woman or your dream man, I want you to think about what kind of mindset do they embody? What kind of mindset do they have? Would you be proud of how how you currently think of yourself, how you think of the world, how you think of your circumstances, how you maneuver through circumstances or obstacles. How does your higher self think? Do you currently embody the mindset of your dreams in your current life? We have to ask and reflect on so many questions. I have another one for you. Where do you go for fun or for pastime or for date nights or for solo dates or getting together with your girls? Where do you travel to and why? I remember my old self when I was about like 22 to 24. I would constantly go to Miami and party on South Beach. And then I started to travel different places until last year. I decided that I was going to go back to Florida. I started in Orlando visiting one of my clients. Hi, Sharon. And then after that, she introduced me to a spiritual mentor who was in Miami. So I went to Miami. I met new people. I stayed in Brickell. I enjoyed Brickell way more than South Beach. And I was very hesitant to actually go to Miami. I was like, oh, I already know what Miami is like. I know the vibe, and my higher self does not want to be around that crowd. I don't want to be at Live on a Sunday. I don't want to be at Fat Tuesdays. I don't even want to be by the beach or walking on South Beach because I don't like being catcalled. I want to sit down at nice restaurants. I want to go to the gym. I want to go to fitness retreats or fitness events. And that is exactly what I did. And I also met so many people, so many like-minded people while I was there in the Brickell area. And so I need you to understand who your higher self is. That way you start to say no to things that do not align with your higher self. Events, people, places, your mindset. Say no to it. And in the next video, we're going to be talking about the non-negotiables that successful women have, but also you need to have in order to continue evolving. All right, let's have a water break since I've been talking so much. I'm currently drinking lemon juice and collagen. I mistakenly threw the collagen in thinking it was glutamine, but that's okay. Both are healthy. Moving on, and now that we're into the new year, we're into mid-January, I want you to reflect on all the questions that I have asked you. And of course, you can ask yourself more, so definitely leave room on your paper or in your journal for this. And I want you to think about the last 9 days. Have you been embodying your higher self and creating a routine around your higher self? Baby, my higher self wakes up. We open that Bible up first thing in the morning. We brush our teeth, drink some water, we hydrate before we even check our phone. Or have you been falling back into your old ways and your old habits? And guess what? Sometimes we don't even realize that we're bringing these habits into the new year. We're bringing these habits into our jobs, our relationships. We're bringing these bad habits or patterns into our future goals, and that's why it's taking so long. If you are still unsure about your identity, this is the video to get clear about who your dream woman is. Sorry y'all, I had to move because the sun is coming up. I want to touch on a few more things that we need to work on before we close out this video. And it's identifying your language, your self-talk. So instead of saying I'm stuck, I want you to say I'm refining. Instead of saying I can't, I want you to say I'm learning. And this one that I hear all the time, that's just who I am, or that's just how I am. I need you to delete that forever. If you really want to see a different life, have your dream life, get out of that mindset that this is weird. You've put yourself in a box. You've put yourself in a box. You have put yourself in a box. 2026 is the year you break that box and any other barrier you placed on yourself or anyone has placed on you, because God did not place a limit on you. He's given you the world. The world is in front of you for you to level up and take advantage of, to get out there, to be bold, to explore, to be bright, to be confident, to be ambitious, to be hungry. But another thing I need you to work on is your mindset. It's so important that you pay attention to your mind when you're starting this challenge, when you're starting to deep dive. It's going to make you feel really uncomfortable. It's going to bring up a lot of emotions. Actually, let's talk about it. I had just recently received this comment on one of my videos where a lady was telling me that she hated me. And I was like, hey, let me I'll just post it here. But she was like, hey girl, I came across your videos and there was something about you that I just couldn't stand. I just hated that you were just so successful and I hated you for it. And then I took some time away from your channel and I came back and now I can digest you. I can be around you and I've subscribed again, but there's a longer message. I responded and I said, hey, like, I respect you even more for being honest to say how you truly felt, because so many people, they are intimidated or afraid. And trust me, I've been there. That's why, woman to woman, I'm proud of her. I'm proud of you if you're watching. And I commend you. I respect you even more that you are honest and you did the inner work to think like, why, to assess yourself, like, woman why does this woman, especially on social media, evoke this emotion in me? And I know my calling. My calling is to make sure I show you how powerful you are. And a lot of times that's going to evoke emotion where you have to change, you have to sacrifice, you have to pay attention to your mental thought patterns and your habits and the people that are around you, and limiting beliefs from your childhood and from just growing up and finding your way as an adult. And so I wasn't offended when she told me that she hated me, because I'm sure many people do, and that is okay. I'm about to make my breakfast. Maybe I'll show you at the end of this video, but I also wanted to just add, like, I am not successful. Like, I don't consider myself like I've made it, I'm there. I'm learning. I'm still figuring things out. I'm just aware of my habits and my mindsets that are limiting me, and outfits that I've worn, or when I used to swear, or music I used to listen to. I'm just becoming aware of my bad habits and my patterns and my ways, and changing them immediately. Like, I am somebody, as you tell me I need to fix something, I'm gonna fix it. Okay, I'm not going to wait. Sorry about the washer going on behind me. I'm in a Spanish house and I'm not going to wait. I'm going to do it because I want the results. A lot of you guys know that you need to be focused on your gym routine. And sorry to pause this. A lot of you guys know that you want to be focused on your gym routine, yet it takes people, it takes a trainer, or it takes your husband or your wife, it takes a friend to beg you, or your doctor to tell you that, hey, you're pre-diabetic, or hey, you got this going on, or hey, if you don't clean up your food or clean up your nutrition, this is what the risks are. And it takes people until you're about to lose yourself or lose something before you want to change, right? Baby, I'm not waiting for that. I'm not waiting for anything to get worse before I do something about it. If you don't like your life, if you don't like something, or you just know that you could be better in so many ways. I had a call with a client. She's in Portugal and she was like, life is good. I really have nothing to complain about, but I know that I could be doing more. Like, I want to do this, and that. Okay, you want to do it. Like 5 minutes out of the day, I need you to make time for it. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Before I even make a video, I talk to God and I start to write things down. I start to think about what I'm going to say, what I want to say, what's currently going on in my life, my mindset, like what I'm doing before I talk about it. And so just action. Honey, action, action, action. And also, if you don't watch any of my videos, especially closer to the end of the year, I was asking you, what is your word for 2026? The mine is courage. Courage, being courageous. Now, it's time to make breakfast. Also, my girls are coming. My girls are coming. One of my subscribers. I know that I'm not going to be everyone's top choice because I'm very blunt and straightforward. But you got to hang around with the wolves that aren't afraid to climb. You got to hang around with people that aren't afraid to get their hands dirty and to actually level up. If you tell me that I got to be up at 5 to run a marathon, I'll go and do it. I'll do it. If you tell me that I have to look a certain way for a competition, I'm going to go and do what I need to do. If you tell me that this is where I need to be at this time, I'm going to do it. I wanted to build myself into somebody that is reliable, someone that is fearless. And don't get me wrong, I do have fearful moments, but I've learned to trust in God and find my identity in God and His scriptures that remind me that I'm not here, and nor are you here to be small or weakened by your flesh or your limiting beliefs, how you were raised, who you were around. And you need to move forward. And yes, it's going to evoke emotion, and it's not all going to be pretty. There's not going to be a bunch of beautiful flowers and matcha and Pilates. No, you're going to have tears. You're going to have moments of doubt and fear and being uncomfortable. But you have to push past your familiar surroundings. That is how you are going to grow. You have to become aware of your insecurities, become aware of your triggers, and really and truly, when you feel like you are bothered or triggered by a social media influencer, a creator, a coach, someone who may be a little bit further in steps ahead of you, like, you need to really sit down and like ask yourself, why does this bother me? And do the self work. Self work is so important. Let me give you another example. There were many times in my past relationships where I would make men feel really small. Oh, you're not good enough. Oh, you're not doing this, and I'm comparing them to what I see on social media rather than watering my own grass. Everyone thinks the grass is greener on the other side based on what you see and what is presented to you. I show you what I want you to see, especially on Instagram, right? And when it really comes to an influencer, they're going to show you what they want you to see. Their highlight reels that you keep comparing your life to, and making yourself feel small or not worthy or deserving of. Babe, you need to find your lane and stick to your lane and know your identity so well that no one and nothing can throw you off course. That when you have a thought and the devil tries to use that thought to limit you, to make you small, to make you angry, jealous, and compare yourself, that you remind yourself of why God created you and what you're working towards, and you rise up. There's a piece of cake for you. There's a slice for everyone. God has an abundant life for all of His children. He wants His children to glorify Him in what we do. He wants us to shine bright. He wants us to be that girl or that guy. He wants us to help each other, love on each other, not hate each other, not envy each other. You have to pay attention to your thoughts, to those patterns of why do you want to be a sore loser when you could be a part of a winning team? And it honestly stems from childhood, because a lot of people don't realize that they probably weren't taught how to share, or probably weren't taught how to bond, or probably weren't taught how to connect. I had a very hard childhood. Along the journey of adulthood, I learned some of my habits had to go. Some of my mindsets and my behaviors and my ways I didn't like about myself. Now I have to think about, who is it that I want to become? What is her mindset like? How does she flow? What is her aura like? What does she radiate? And I only want to operate and embody that woman. And that is how you should move. Anything less than your higher self from here on out is a no buena. A no buena. I just turned off the video because I was like, how long is this beeping gonna go on for? Do you hear the beeping? No. Like, I need you to write this down, and we're closing out here. I will no longer let my mindset control me. I will no longer let social media control me. I will no longer let the actions of others control me. I will no longer let my emotions control me. And I want you to continue writing out that page. And I want you to reflect on what you no longer allow to control you. You have to build on your mind. That is the strongest muscle in your body, and you will never regret working on your mind. I need you to tap into all books right now, podcasts, anything that is going to elevate your mind, especially this 30-day blueprint. I hope to see you all throughout the 30-day blueprint. I am so excited to be a part of your 2026. I thank you so much for loving on me and doing this journey with me. I'm so excited for us and to see what we become in the next 30 days. I'll see you guys in day 1, step 1 tomorrow. Ciao. One of my subscribers that became a client to a friend is coming, along with one of my girlfriends, Bessie, is coming to visit me in Spain. And so, babe, I stocked this house. I even brought us smart suites. But I stocked this house. I stocked the fridge for us for their arrival. Meal prep. They want me to cook for them and just show them the shebang. Let me put you guys up here. So they want me to cook for them and show them the shebang of how I get myself together. It's currently maybe 11:30 a.m. and I was not feeling too great for the last few days. I had like a stomach bug. But I do have oats that I had already made. I have a lot of meal prep that I meal prepped already. Let me show you the rooms. They each have their own room. And I got us matching outfits, matching pajamas. So cute. And some stuff from MAC. So super excited for them to get here. And yeah, they each have their own room. I have the blinds closed right now. And then we have another guest room and another matching set and some stuff from MAC. And then they have their own washroom. Yes. So yeah, I'm so excited for them to get here. And yeah, we're going to be doing this blueprint level up together. And I can't wait to show you guys what reality looks like, living with me, training with me, eating with me, leveling up with me. If you guys have any recommendations, topic recommendations for, especially when the girls get here, for what you want to see, especially as a group of women together, comment those topics down below, because I probably will be going live a lot with them to show you guys what we get up to. I'm so excited. Can I show you my breakfast? All right, my loves. This is our breakfast. 2 eggs. Oats with dates. So one date and cinnamon. A little bit of almond milk. Bananas, blueberries, and granola. And honey on top with a teaspoon of almond butter.